Hey, welcome back. I'm looking and feeling a little bit better than I was yesterday. A lot better, actually. I felt so disorganized last time I saw you, and I feel like today's been just a tad bit better. So, glad to announce that I'm on my way home. It's dark, it is cold and getting colder here in Ohio, so that's always something I don't look forward to, but that's not what you're here to talk about. Let's just jump right into the topic we are here to talk about today. That is how you can keep more of your money, keep more of your paycheck each and every time you get paid, the strategies that I have used and that I have benefited from. And I just have to preclude this by saying that I am not a financial advisor or planner. I am not certified in any way to give advice on specific situations, but these are my opinions, and again, I have benefited from a lot of these methods. So why would you want to do this? Why do you want to keep more of your paycheck? Well, it sounds good, doesn't it? And I don't think if I walked up to anybody and said, would you like to keep more of your paycheck? They would say no. But I do think it takes some work and it's some know-how, because you got to know what you're capable of cutting back on and what you're capable of negotiating, which is kind of a lost art. But we'll get into that more a little bit later. The first three suggestions I'm going to make are things that everybody can do, but the last two I think depends on your situation. So again, if you think those are good options for you, talk to a certified financial planner about your conditions and your situations. Make sure you have a good team though, because there is a lot of misinformation out there. So let's just jump right into it. The first thing, and something that I'm pretty passionate about, is stop getting an income tax return. So when you start a job, you fill out this form called a W-4. And on that form, you list the number of dependents you have, and it kind of determines how much tax they're taking out of your paycheck each time you get paid in order to cover the taxes that you owe the government. The government always pays themselves first. That's why it's important to pay yourself first, because guess what? They figured out a long time ago that if they paid themselves first, they always get paid. That's a whole different video though. Anyway, you're filling out this W-4 and it feels like you have to tell the truth on this form, right? They say, how many kids do you have? And what is your living situation? And is there any other dependents in your house? And what is your income, or stuff like that? And HR helps you fill it out, and you're just supposed to follow the little prompts, and it tells you exactly what to do, and that's what you do. But come tax time, you're really excited to get that, extra however much you get. Usually a couple grand, or $1,000 or $500, whatever it is. You're really excited to get that money, but what you don't realize is you're just lending money to the government without interest. And every tax season, they're paying you what you've lent them. And raise your hand, I will, if you've ever been sitting around at tax season thinking, oh my God, I filed my taxes in January and now it's March. Where is my tax return? I've been there. I'm pretty sure lots of you have too. So, what you need to know, and what most people probably don't understand, is that the document you fill out, that W-4 form, is not like putting your hand on the Bible when you testify in court. You do not have to put the number of dependents you actually have living in your house. That is a guideline to help determine the amount of tax to take out. And I'm willing to put money on the fact, in fact, this video could be the money I'm putting on the fact that the government weighs that in their favor. So what can you do about it? Well, of course you don't want to owe taxes, because then you go up against the IRS, and that's an entity you do not want to mess with. They probably have a lot more power than you or I even realize, but they will take things from you. You want to be sure you're definitely covering your taxes, but you also don't want to be giving extra. So you can work with your HR professional, you can work with a certified tax professional, and just tell them that your goal is to get your tax return as close to zero as possible. If you want to play it a little safe, you can say, I want to get my tax return to, 500 or below. That's really safe. But they should be able to help you adjust the number of dependents that you list on that form in order to get more money in your paycheck and less money in the government's pocket until tax time. And you can do this at any time during your job. You can call up your HR department, today and say, hey, I need to fill out a new W-4 form, and they'll send it to you, and you just turn that back into HR, and the effects start immediately. So that's really nice. And that's one big way that I think most people don't realize they can get their money back from their paycheck every single time they get paid. The next one I want to talk about is kind of odd in today's culture because I feel like this is not something we're accustomed to doing. It is negotiating your expenses. We are not a culture of hagglers. There is a commodity, it costs a price, we pay that price for the commodity, and that's kind of the end of it. You get Netflix, it's however much they charge for Netflix nowadays, every single month. You buy a cheeseburger from McDonald's, and maybe it's on sale, and it's 2 for $5 fish day. So, you get 2 sandwiches, you pay $5. That's how it works, right? Well, there are lots of cultures and lots of industries that don't work that way. And you can haggle the price of goods. And yes, it takes some work. Yes, it takes a little bit of confrontation. So I am like the most non-confrontational person on this earth. I feel the need to run from confrontation, even when it's on TVs and TV shows and movies and things. Even when there's nobody present causing the confrontation and I am just a spectator, I feel the need to flee from that situation. That is how non-confrontational I am. And if I can do this, you can do this too. So what you can do is you can shop around, especially in the case of like insurance. Chances are you can shop around for better value. I'm not saying that you should take your insurance down in order to save money. You definitely need to have your bases covered when it comes to insurance. You want to make sure that if a situation should arise that you need it, you have the proper amount of insurance. What I'm saying is call around to different companies, and these companies are competitive. So see if you can't get the same coverage for the best price. And, if you're really loyal to a company, that's fine. If that value is worth it to you, that's fine. But this is just one suggestion. There are other services like your internet provider where you can call them and ask them if there's anything they can do for the amount you pay for your bill, because it's just a little too high. When you go to buy a car, now it's not really common practice anymore to like haggle over the price or say, oh, I can't do that. Can you do any better? But get in the practice of doing that because it can save you lots of money. I'm not saying you have to be belligerent and argumentative and just be an overall jerk and a nasty person about it. You can be really nice. In fact, I think you get more deals that way if you are super nice. But just know that it is something that's available to you. And if you put in like an hour's worth of phone calls on one day, you could probably save a lot of money every single month. The next one, let me take a look at my notes here, is to pay off debt. So a few years back, we had a lot of cash flow, every single paycheck going toward payments on things that we don't even use anymore, like my student loans. Don't even use that degree and paying on it every single month. But what I'm talking about more like is credit cards, honestly. So you may have bought a shirt on credit and, you pay, or let's go a little higher. You went on a shopping spree, bought $500 worth of clothes, and now your minimum payment is what, $50? I don't know. I don't know what the minimum payments are these days, but if your minimum payment is $50, you're paying back that $500 plus interest. So you're paying out $50 every month that you could have just saved in your pocket. And you're paying more for that shirt than even was on the price tag because you're paying the interest on it as well. So I feel very strongly that debt is a tool that you should use to buy things that will make you money and not buy things like tangible items that that consumer goods basically that don't bring in any more money. And I think I can give you a couple methods in which to do this. I've used a couple of these myself, and the first one is the debt snowball method. I really like this one. If you have a lot of debt that has separate payments, this is a good one, because what you do is you take the minimum, you throw everything at that lowest balance debt, and once that's paid off, you take the minimum payment plus everything you were paying on the last debt and throw it on the next debt, and then you just repeat this, rinse and repeat, until your debts are paid off. Where I think you run into trouble is when you get into those higher balance debts that just have a minimum payment, and it can be very tedious to throw all your money into that debt when you don't really see it go down that much every month. And I would even argue, and this is probably another video topic entirely, that in some cases, if your monthly payment on those debts, for instance, our student loan payments are very low on an income-driven repayment plan, and if our goal is to keep cash flow, it does not really benefit us to throw all of our money at that, because it would still take us, let's just say that if I put all of my salary toward our student loan debt, it would take over 2 years to pay off. It would take us over a year to pay off, if both of us threw all of our salaries into it for a year. So I think in some cases that you just pay the monthly payment and you use your cash flow in order to build wealth in other ways so that you can pay that off later. But that's a whole topic for another day. Now, as I said, those 3 options are things that anybody can do, I think, to get cash flow in your pocket now. You can start paying off debt. You can renegotiate some of your expenses. You can, what was that first one? Oh yeah, the big one. You can revise your W-4 form and stop paying the government the money that you have earned and you deserve. And you can put more cash flow in your pocket to spend on investments and things that will bring in more money for you. So these next 2 really depend on your situation, and these are ones that I have used because it worked for us. And the first one is refinancing your mortgage. So I've made a whole video on how we refinanced our mortgage and did a cash out refinance in order to pay off over $23,000 worth of debt, which was our van payment, the van that I'm driving right now. And go watch that if you're interested in all the details and the thought process behind it. But it was the right move for us, because we were paying $460 every month on this car payment, and now we're paying a lower mortgage payment and no car payment. So we freed up $650 worth of cash flow every single month. And to me, that just blows my mind, because we're going to be paying our mortgage one way or the other, right? And yes, we could pay it off sooner if we had kept our original loan. We had more equity, but we wanted the cash flow to put into our business and to, invest in ourselves rather than having it sit in the value of our house. So that's one way you can free up some cash today. You can look into a cash out refinance if you own a home and if you have equity in that home. All right, last one. Ooh, and this is a controversial one too. Stop contributing to your 401k. Again, when you started your company, chances are they laid out your 401k plan. And that's your retirement plan, right? And you put money in it every month. They probably match some money, and you just forget about it until you're ready to retire at 69 and a half. Or 59 and a half, I think, is the age at which you can pull that money out. Okay, don't come after me, or do, I don't care. But there's some very good reasons why I think you should not be putting your money into a 401k account. First of all, and the biggest one is, I have no idea where they're putting my money in a 401k. Yes, you can pick your investments, but how much research does it require for you to be able to put your money into an investment and know that it's going to do well over the next 30 years of your working life? Because I don't have time to keep up with the companies I'm investing in. I'm struggling on a day-to-day basis to have enough time for my family, to have enough time to build a business so that I can spend more time with my family. And if you're watching this, you probably are too. We, especially as women, are stretched very thin, I think. And I'm not to say that men aren't stretched very thin, but I can feel the pressures that women have, of course, because I'm a woman. And as a working mom and a wife and, just being responsible for certain things and the mental load of being a wife and a mother and a full-time working person in the household, I feel like there's enough claims on our time that we do not need to be educating ourselves in this thing. But you need, in order to succeed in it, that's what you would have to do. So that's the first reason. And the second reason is that is money. Yes, your company may be giving you money. That's free money. And if you have the extra cash flow, I would recommend maybe just throwing it away. But don't put money. Isn't it like advice every investing professional tells you? Don't invest money that you wouldn't be willing to lose. Well, right now in my life, I don't have money that I'm willing to lose. I need every single penny in order to build a better life. Right? Do you feel the same way? I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Are you living paycheck to paycheck? Because I feel if you're in that situation, you need all of your money in order to live your life, to cover your expenses, right? So why would I be sticking my money into a 401k when I could have that money now and use it on my life? And I'm not talking about wasting it on my life, on consumerism. Use it to build my life so that I can buy things that then create more income. And then if I feel like investing, I can. Because then I would have money that I was willing to lose, right? But at this time, no way. I am not willing to lose that money. So that's another reason why I don't like putting money in a 401k, even a Roth IRA. Honestly, I feel like, and I'm going to talk about this. So I feel like there are places where you can get a better return than if you stick your money in a Roth IRA and forget about it. And that's what's supposed to take care of you for the rest of your life. More and more studies are coming out that's saying that people don't have enough money at retirement age. And a lot of people are relying on these investments. These 401ks were never meant to be your sole source of retirement. I've heard that time and time again in the research that I'm doing, but we're making it that, aren't we? And why would I stick my money in the 401k where I'm not sure what the return is? I'm not sure how much money I'm going to have in my account by the time I turn 59 and a half and am able to pull it out. I need money now. And if I could instead, and this is just something that I'm interested in, is investing in real estate. If I could instead put that money into real estate and invest in rental property that's going to give me cash flow until the day that I die, why would I put my money in something else? That's just my thoughts on it. And I've done some research on it. So, I mean, scoff if you will, or have different opinions. You're more than entitled to your different opinions. But that is where I am with the 401k. I haven't been contributing to my 401k for some time. And at first it was just because of financial necessity. We needed that money to live. And now I'm more and more realizing that it's just not where I want to put my money. I have certain goals with my money, and the first step to those goals is cash flow. And if I'm putting money in something that I can't control and I don't have the time to research, then I feel like I'm being a fool and a bad steward of my money. So, like I said, that one largely depends on you and your beliefs and your lifestyle, and feel free to be totally opposite of what I do. But like I said, these are just my opinions and things that I have benefited from, and I think I have some pretty good arguments for them as well. So there you have it. Those are some ways that you can keep more of your hard-earned money in your pocket with every single paycheck. Keep more of your money, and in order to build wealth in the long term. I will say that if you are just keeping more of your money to spend it, then you are not being a good steward of your money. And I think if you're watching this YouTube video that you already know that, so I don't have to harp too much on it. But do have a financial plan, do have a goal in mind, and be focused on that goal with your cash flow. build this cash flow in order to put it toward a business, put it toward your goal, your investments that you love, and build something that will continue to carry you into retirement and into a life that you love. That's all I have to say about that, like the famous Forrest Gump says. And I will see you next time. Bye.